Welcome back to Bros Talking Sports. I'm your host Oscar. Here with my co-host Shea today. Shea, how you doing?
Good.
Anything? Nothing new with us, but definitely a lot in the sports world.
We don't have Max again.
Yeah. So again, nothing new. Like I've
He
said.
was here last week though, right?
No. Remember he didn't come last week because of his finger.
Oh, never mind then.
Yeah, last week he wasn't here.
But we finished our picks.
Yeah. Finished our pick. Shea won by I think a 10 or 11. So he won by
Insane.
a little bit. We almost had the same exact pick, so there was no chance of me winning.
Yeah, it was pretty straight.
But we'll start a new one for the playoffs. Hopefully I can get a little bit closer.
Whose bracket can do better?
But we kick off with the Giants defensive coordinator story. Not a lot of people probably heard about this, the Giants defensive coordinator story, but I'm just going to give you the little quick rundown of what has happened. So Giants, Wink Martindale resigned as the Giants defensive coordinator.
Resigned
Wednesday. No, he did resign. We're going to get into the whole thing.
Yeah, but let's be honest. Was he going to be there if he didn't resign?
Yes.
Really?
Okay, let's get into the whole story. All right, so we start. This story starts back when Jake Glazer reported that there was some tension between Brian Dable and Wink Martindale. That's where we start. But a week before that, they started Tommy DeVito against the Cowboys. Now this is the one story out of the whole thing that is not clear if it's true or not, but essentially Brian Dable went to Wink Martindale and said, hey, we have to change up our game plan because we're playing Tommy DeVito. Our offense is going to suck. And Wink said, no, I'm not doing that. And they got into it. Not happy. The next week, Brian Dable asked if anybody, he was in the defensive room and he asked everybody, does anybody have a problem with me? Nobody raised their hand. Wink Martindale had a problem. He didn't say anything. Now we fast forward towards the Giants media day. The Giants scheduled their, so they fired their they fired their outside linebacker coach, Bobby Wilkins. It's either Drew or Bobby, one of the two. They fired him. He was like the assistant offensive coordinator that Wink Martindale really loved. So he was pissed. So media day comes around. Brian Dable talks to the media. He says, yeah, no, Wink should be back. Wink should be back. And that's what he was expecting. That's what they all expected. And then essentially Wink Martindale walked in, cursed Brian Dable out for firing one of his guys, and then left. He walked out of the building. Now, at that point, he was going to resign, but he hadn't signed any papers.
So he had to go back in?
No, he went to Florida, and then he went to Florida, and essentially they got the papers signed or whatever. But yeah, no, so essentially, yeah, he walked out and said, fuck you to the Giants.
Interesting.
Now, the Giants wanted him back. And the Giants did not want to also give him the resignation either because they didn't want to fire him because then he could leave on his own terms and the Giants don't have to pay him. So, he could go to another team. Mm-hmm. It'd be completely fine. So, yeah, a lot of stuff.
Wait, since he resigned, they don't have to pay him now? Is that how that works?
They
shouldn't have to. If a guy resigns, that's you can't just.
We don't have to pay him.
Yeah, I was gonna say you should. If you fire him, it's a different story.
Yeah, if we fire him, then we have to pay him. But no, he resigned. So he can still go places now. I'm pretty sure.
But he's not getting paid by the Giants.
Yeah, he's not getting paid by the Giants.
And the Giants hired Brian Dable's doppelganger.
Yeah, the Giants hired an offensive line coach. I think there's other stuff to the story too that I'm probably forgetting because the story is so big and massive. But yeah, no, essentially Brian Dable tried to fix this with Wink, and Wink was just not having it. There was tensions even last year too, and since they were winning, it was everything okay. But those two don't like each other. No. So
maybe they'll get Antonio Pierce.
Yeah, I don't think he'll be available. But yeah, that's the whole defensive Giants story. Giants also fired a bunch of other guys as well, but we're not going to get into. They fired their outside linebacker coach, special teams coordinator, offensive line coach, running back coach left. He went to go be the offensive coordinator at Syracuse. That's about it.
Did you see who the Bears fired?
Yeah, everybody on the offense.
Yeah. Everybody. Literally everybody. Mm-hmm. Everyone's gone.
Literally everybody. Yeah. It's funny.
So, we could get more into the Bears stuff after the playoffs and like what they're going to do in the draft.
Yeah, we have a lot of time to talk about that.
It's very interesting if Justin Fields, I mean, he was playing decently enough, but I don't know. I don't think he'll be back there next year, but you never know. Yeah,
you never know. Literally, you never know. All right, let's get into it. Head coaches that were fired. Let me run them down. I'm not naming the guys that have already been fired. So that includes Brandon Staley, Frank Wright, and Josh McDaniels. So the ones that got fired over this weekend, Mike Vrabel, Ron Rivera, Arthur Smith, Pete Carroll, and Bill Belichick. All gone as of head coaches. Now, Bill Belichick has already been replaced as Jared Mayo.
Youngest head coach now.
Yeah. What do you think about that?
It's a hiring that makes sense. He's a guy who played for them. That's why I was always like Mike Vrabel would be a perfect thing for him because he played in New England, so the people like him. This is a guy who played with them, Jared Mayo. Like, no one's mad about that hiring.
Yeah.
Like, no one's mad about that at all.
Yeah, you're definitely going to piss off a lot of people in New England. I was just shocked that they didn't interview anybody. They said, yeah, you get the job.
And they're going young, too. So you could tell they're going full, rebuild.
Yeah,
rebuild.
They're going to draft a
young
quarterback.
Rookie quarterback, ride it with the young team and see what they can do. I like what New England's doing.
Yeah.
If they get a good quarterback, they could have a chance to be a decent team next year because, their defense always plays well. They got a couple of guys on offense. They're okay. They can make things happen.
Yeah, no, essentially, I like the new hiring. I would have liked to interview some guys, but, hey, listen, if you got your guy, then I guess you got your guy. But because I was like, dude, it's been 3 days. There's no way you interviewed literally anybody except for one guy. So they literally interviewed one guy, and that was it. All right, so what was the most surprising firing to you, Shea?
Oh, Mike Vrabel, 100%. That firing to me makes absolutely no sense because I think that guy is still a fantastic head coach in the league. And anybody who's willing to sign him that's great. Fantastic hiring.
Yeah.
I'm not sure where he's going to go, who's going to hire him, but anybody who does. I mean, who do we have now? The Falcons can hire him, the Raiders possibly.
7 teams.
The Chargers.
Yeah.
7 teams?
7 teams.
Carolina. Listen, I mean, anybody who hires this guy, this is a NFL head coach, knows what he's doing. He's a very good coach.
Yeah.
I would get him in an instant. He's the top guy right now. I don't care about, I mean, obviously you have everyone's looking at Johnson in Detroit.
Detroit, yeah.
Or Aaron Glenn or something like that, but Dan Quinn is another one, but to me, this guy's the number one hire. I would pick him up in a second.
I think Atlanta would really be good with Dan Quinn. I've never seen that happen before. That'd be crazy.
Run it back.
Well,
Bill Belichick didn't retire, right? He just mutually parted ways. AKA, they told him you're gonna. I at least said this. I remember earlier in the year. I'm like, they won't fire Belichick. They're gonna mutually just go different directions because they can't fire Belichick. They basically told him you're gonna get fired. So do you want to just kind of go out on your own so it doesn't sound as bad? And he was like, yeah, that's basically what happens.
My most surprising, I'm going to be a little bit different. I'm going to say Pete Carroll.
That too. Yeah, Pete Carroll. I forgot Pete Carroll.
Yeah, so Pete Carroll is gone in Seattle. Probably the same thing that having with Belichick,
I don't think Pete Carroll's done coaching yet either.
No, I don't think he's done either.
There's a bunch of think about it. You could hire Mike Vrabel, Pete Carroll, or Bill Belichick. That's a lot of winning experience between those 3 guys. And not only this, wherever Belichick goes, you had a good shot to get Josh McDaniels, your offensive coordinator, to pair with him.
Yes.
Back with that old Patriots team. It could. I wouldn't have been surprised. The Patriots, literally, if they didn't want to go off of Belichick, they just brought McDaniel in as their OC and run it back. They still could bring McDaniel as their OC if they wanted to.
Mm-hmm. Listen, when you're Jared Mayo probably in New England is going to clean house for the most part. That's usually what most coaches do. You maybe keep 1 or 2 guys. I know the Giants did it when they hired Dable. Everybody got cleaned out except for Thomas McGahee, but unfortunately he's gone now. Thank the fucking Lords. He was our special teams coach. The worst. Nice guy, but the worst. So, like I said, if you're Bill Belichick, you could hire Joe Judge and some of the other guys you already had in your last staff to come on this new staff. So
Mike Vrabel's an offensive guy, right?
He played defense.
Oh, you're right. He played linebacker. That's what I'm saying. He's a.
Played linebacker, so I think he's a defensive coach.
Can we hire Mike Vrabel as our defense coordinator, please?
That's what I said. I want the Giants to do that. Come on over, buddy. So yeah, my most surprising was Pete Carroll. I thought Pete Carroll has done a great job in Seattle. I think wherever he goes, winning is just a thing with Pete Carroll. I don't think he's done coaching, even though he's still in the organization, as they've said. But I think Pete Carroll is probably...
Dude, it literally makes sense. Matt LaFleur was his offensive coordinator. Just come reunite with him. You're just going to go under his role now instead. Instead of him being under you, you're under him now.
So I think that... I really do think that Pete Carroll was probably my most shocking. I was like, wow, he got fired?
Yeah, that was weird. But they were also talking about possibly hiring him to like a bigger role, like making him like a assistant GM or something like that. Yeah. Like they wanted to keep him, but they just didn't want him to head coach anymore. So like,
I don't know.
Maybe they want to go with the young route too over there in Seattle.
Yeah.
So
least surprising, Shea?
Interesting. Least surprising?
Ron Rivera.
Yeah, I mean, yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, I guess, Belichick didn't really get fired, but I mean, I would say even Belichick too. But no, Rivera, I think, has to be the lead, because we literally called it, and it was instantly that he got fired.
Yeah. We said it a while ago that he was going to be gone. And what's the best job available right now?
The best job?
Out of the 7 ones.
Probably LA, because you have a quarterback that's already pretty much a star quarterback, which is the hard position to fill. Like, I would say that is the... If you go into that chart, listen, you got a lot of guys that you could lose this offseason, but you got the quarterback, and that's the most important thing. So you could build around that quarterback. And a roster that's already decent, like, you could build with that. Like, if I was Belichick right now, like, that would be the team I'd want to go to, just because it already has the quarterback there. You don't have to figure that out.
Mm-hmm. I think it's the best job, too. That or... See, this is so tough, because... I don't actually think any of these jobs are bad except for one. I think there's one bad job that you don't want to go to.
Washington?
No. Not
Carolina?
No. I actually don't think those are the worst jobs.
Really? You think Atlanta?
No, that's not the worst job.
I think Atlanta's not a bad job either. I feel like Atlanta's got a lot of pieces that could be used right. You get a quarterback in there that's pretty good. Yeah,
exactly. That's
you get Jaden Daniels in there, and Atlanta's a good one. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Because that one's set up to be able to, if you could just like, you got to trade up is the problem to probably get one of those quarterbacks, because now it's looking like they might go 1, 2, 3, bing, bang, boom.
Yeah, so
to Chicago, New England, Washington off the board right away.
Yeah. So like I said, I think Shea's right with the Chargers just because they have Justin Herbert. But I'm going to say the worst job here is the Tennessee Titans. This isn't even close.
They have a bad roster.
You have Derrick Henry leaving. He's gone wherever he goes. Then you have no quarterback.
DeAndre Hopkins is your best receiver, and he's old.
Didn't he sign a one? Oh, I thought he signed a 1-year deal.
Oh well, I mean, like even if they wanted to re-sign him, that's your best option to go right now.
You don't
Will
have
Levis is who knows what with Will Levis.
You barely have a top 10.
He shows some signs of like being decent, but
you don't have a top 5 pick, so you can't get one of the quarterbacks.
You know your defensive secondary is awful, worst one of the worst secondaries in the league.
So like, there's nothing good
about
Jarrell
Casey, but he's probably going to retire within.
There's nothing good about the Tennessee job. Essentially, that you're getting a head coaching spot. That's literally it. You get to run your own team. That's literally the good thing about Tennessee. Nothing else.
I'm curious who gets hired in L.A. the Chargers, because think about it. They just fired Brandon Staley, a defensive guy. You would think they want to go offense. Which one of these guys is offense? Vrabel's not.
I think they go Ben Johnson.
Belichick's not. That's probably what makes the most sense, because Belichick's not Pete Carroll's not. Like, what do they do? Like, what do you do in that case? Yeah,
no, I think they go Ben Johnson. That's personally who I would go for Justin Herbert, because I think that's the perfect guy. Because I don't think
you already have what's his face as your your OC, Kellen Moore.
Kellen Moore, yeah.
So you guys
or Dan Quinn, but if they went defense,
again, I don't think they want to go. I think you want to go offense, because you already just had a defensive guy, and that didn't work out well. So.
No, it did not. So listen, those are the best and worst jobs in our opinion. I think there's some good ones out there. There's some bad ones.
I saw a thing like Belichick to the Cowboys if they fire McCarthy.
Okay, that's one thing I wanted to talk about. Thank God you brought that up. Why are we firing McCarthy? He's second in the NFC. He won the division this year, and we're going to fire the dude after 11-win season with the Cowboys?
I don't know, because
Probably going to get to the NFC Championship game?
they think he's the problem and not possibly the quarterback that was the reason they lost last year and could be the reason they lose last year.
I don't understand. Where's this McCarthy thing? McCarthy is a NFL head coach. Is he the best? No. Is he middle of the pack? Yeah.
Listen, when you have him as he's your head coach. You have Dan Quinn, who might be the best defense coordinator in the league. He's very good.
Yeah, he is.
He's not the best head coach, but a defensive coordinator, he's probably top 3. He's a very good defensive coordinator. Mm-hmm. You got a very good coaching staff over there, and you're the Dallas Cowboys, so you could get guys like the Dallas Cowboys always have stuff going for them. They just got to find a way to get over that edge. And this is their best year. This is literally their best year to win it. This is their best chance they got. If there's a year they're going to win it, it's this year. This is their best shot.
Yeah, I think Mike McCarthy gets too much shit on because, like, dude, there's so many things that Mike McCarthy does that...
That's the thing with Cowboys fans. They have to find they're always, expectations of winning the Super Bowl. So if they don't do as good, they have to throw somebody under the bus. They have to blame somebody because that's just Cowboys fans. It's always somebody's fault.
Maybe you should blame your fucking owner who sucks, who's essentially the GM. Maybe you should do that. It's just like, ugh. It just gets annoying. All right, we get to the first game. Browns at Texans. Take it away, Shea.
All right. A lot of people are with the Browns. Some people are thinking Texans. This game, remember, it's in Houston. Houston won that big game against Indianapolis, end of the season, to sneak themselves in. The Browns, one of the best defenses in the league, top 3 defense. Joe Flacco. Everyone's riding the Joe Flacco train. Browns obviously a little banged up. They've been banged up this whole year. They are the favorites, though, on the road. And I've been riding with the Browns to the end of the year, and they've been pretty successful, and I'm going to continue to ride with the Browns in this game, and I'm going to go with the Browns.
Yeah, this is another one here where I don't have much against the Browns on this one. I do like the Browns very much.
You're picking the Browns? Really?
I am picking the Browns.
Again,
I know.
Also, big thing to look at, playoff experience. This is my biggest thing, playoff experience. When it comes to looking at playoffs, I love to look at playoff experience. That is a big thing to me. Rookie quarterback, never played a playoff game. Joe Flacco, 10-5 in the playoffs. In the wild card round, he has never lost. So that's a big thing now. Just look at that. Playoff experience is a big thing.
You look up and down this, like the teams that have made it to the playoffs. There's a lot of teams here that have a lot of quarterback experience. Outside of the Texans, Dolphins, and Packers, everybody has playoff experience.
Yeah, pretty much, yeah.
Most of them went to a Super Bowl. Eagles, Lions, Rams.
Oh, yeah, Goff's gone to a Super Bowl.
Chiefs.
Hurts, Mahomes.
Flacco, that's 5. That's 5 out of your 14 teams that went to the Super Bowl.
I mean, yeah, well, you got who are the guys who'd never played a playoff game? Tua,
no. Oh, yeah.
Tua hasn't.
Tua hasn't because of last year. Mason Rudolph and C.J. Stroud. That's it.
Wait, no, Mason, who played that? Oh, it was Ben Roethlisberger was still there.
Yeah, Big Ben was still there. That's it.
And
Jordan Love.
And Jordan Love, yes. But, Jordan Love's the best quarterback in the league, so that's a different story. No, but yes, playoff experience does really matter. And I think it also doesn't help when you're going against a playoff game against one of the best defenses in the league in your first game. I have a feeling C.J. Stroud's going to be struggling a little bit. The Browns aren't going to have to do a lot to win this game. They're just going to have to not turn the ball over. If Joe Flacco throws 4 interceptions, which he could do because he turns the ball over a decent amount, that's when the game gets scary. If the Browns are smart, limit turnovers, and just let their defense do the work, they should be able to get through this game and move on to the next round.
Yeah, like I said, the Browns have one of the best defenses in the league. The Texans. Now, I do think this game will be a lot closer than it was last time, just because you play two teams. You play a team twice in a short amount of 4 weeks.
Also, the Texans were hurt a little bit that game. They had no C.J. Stroud. I don't think Will Anderson was healthy that game, so they were missing some guys.
So, like I said, I think they'll be able to. I think it's going to be a high-scoring game between both teams. I don't think the Browns' defense is going to perform very well in this one. Even though they have a great defense, I think they're going to perform poorly. But I do think the Browns' offense with Joe Flacco is clicking on every single level right now. Every game it's 30 to literally any team they play. So I'm taking the Browns here in this one. Dolphins at Chiefs this week.
Is that the tomorrow night game?
It is tomorrow night's game. It's a good one.
Now we're going to go back to the playoff experience. That's a big thing. Both of these teams are not playing good. Let's just get that out of the way. Both of them are not. Miami was looking pretty solid. they just played 2 bad games back to back. Tua does not look very good.
Yeah.
Jalen Waddle's been hurt, which is probably hurting him a lot because he's trying to force feed Tyreek Hill, and that's really struggling for him. Look at Kansas City. They've been struggling the whole entire, for weeks they've been struggling. Ever since Taylor Swift got there for some reason, they've been struggling. So both these teams not in a good spot. The Chiefs luck out. They get to be at home. Temperature of this game is going to be about 0 degrees or something like that. Cold. Miami don't like playing in no cold. They warm weather. They're not a cold team. Tua's first playoff game. I don't like either of these teams, but I like Kansas City pretty well in this game against Miami.
Yeah, it's just one of those games for the Dolphins, a bad matchup. If you're at home against the Steelers, I'd probably take you the Dolphins. But again, you're at home. You're on the road against the Chiefs with Patrick Mahomes and Andy Reid. That's all I need to literally say for this one. You're at home against a struggling Dolphins team. Even though your team has been struggling, I really don't care. You guys literally will find a way to win this game. It's not going to be pretty. It's going to be very ugly. It's going to be a 17-14 game. That's about it.
This is what the Chiefs need, though. They need to play a good game this game because they need to start getting on a roll now because they haven't been on a roll at all. And if they play another bad game but they pull out a win, that's not going to really help you do anything because you need to, start to, play better because you're not playing well. Mahomes needs to play better. He needs to throw the ball to Travis Kelce, a little bit. Not even just a little bit, throw him the ball. In the red zone, maybe you'll score more in the red zone. You throw him the ball. Am I saying that because he was on my fantasy team and did nothing? Maybe. But literally, I think it's true. I think it's actually just true. You need to find him in the red zone more. Pacheco's got to get you. He got to give him close to 20 carries in this game. You got to feed him as much as you can. You have a great offensive line. Run the ball. Don't rely on Mahomes to do everything because he's not doing everything this year. He's making mistakes. He's struggling, which is okay. But you need to establish a run game and do stuff on the ground, and then Mahomes will be way more successful in the air. He'll be able to throw it to Kelce more off the play action. He'll be able to. Rashee Rice is an up-and-coming star in this league. He's been pretty good. But the Chiefs should be able to win this game, but if they can win it handedly and get on a roll, makes it a little more confident going into Buffalo next week.
Brings us to our next matchup. Steelers at Bills.
Bills next.
TJ Watt's not playing. It's literally it.
I did say, though, they are getting apparently 65-mile-an-hour winds and over a foot of snow for the game. So, does that make things interesting? The final might be closer than we thought, but, Buffalo's the way better team. The fact that Pittsburgh's even in the playoffs, they should be celebrating right now. Do they deserve to be in? No.
They do it every year.
They do. They average 17 points a game. I don't know how they get in. They just win games close. The games they shouldn't win, they win. It doesn't make sense, but they're in. Congrats to them. Mike Tomlin, fantastic head coach.
Exactly.
Their quarterback, who knows? Kenny Pickett was their first-round guy. I don't know if he'll be their quarterback next year because Mason Rudolph is better than him. He pushes the ball down the field more than him.
Yeah, I don't know.
But yeah, the Bills will win this game.
Yeah, we're all taking the Bills here. This one's pretty obvious. Packers at Cowboys this week. Shea, take it away.
The Packers are going to win. No, they're not. But listen. This, for me as a Packer fan, this was a win. To get to the playoffs was a win because this is the youngest roster ever to get in the playoffs. I was really hoping the Rams would lose last week so we could play the Lions in the first round because if it was a game in Detroit against the Lions, I would have a little more confidence that we can win that game. But what is Dallas very good at? They're very good at home. I think they've won 15 in a row at home or some crazy stat. However, the Packers are good in Arlington. They're 5-0 in Arlington, so that's always good.
They've won the last, I think, 9 out of
10. 9 out of 10 and 5. They've won their last 5 games in Arlington, which is a good stat. That was Aaron Rodgers, though. That's a different story. The Cowboys are usually very good at home, and they're usually good in the wild card round, too. Dak does it pretty well in the wild card round. When he gets to the divisional round is when he struggles. Jordan Love's first playoff game. This is a young team's first playoff game. There's going to be a lot of mistakes in this game. It's pretty much, you could just tell that's going to happen. So if Dallas just plays like they've been playing, they'll be able to win this game pretty easily, I think. But again, you never know because it's tough to tell sometimes with these young guys. CJ Stroud, he could ball and the Texans could win. Jordan Love, he could ball out again and they can win. You never know. But usually you take those rookie quarterbacks to not perform and the rookie young guys to not perform so well in their first playoff game. I'll take the Cowboys.
Yeah, I'm taking the Cowboys here too. This Cowboys are at home. Not much else to say. Love the Cowboys at home. Lions at Rams, Shea. Rams at Lions. Who you got?
This is the matchup that everybody wanted. This is the matchup that I mean, the NFL wanted this. Stafford goes back to Detroit. Every Lions fan loves Matthew Stafford. And now he's going to go back to Detroit to possibly. They're finally made the playoffs. The Lions haven't made the playoffs in forever. They haven't won a playoff game in forever. And now he might be going to upset that playoff run that you have a home playoff game. I don't know the last time the Lions having a home playoff game, and he might go back there and do it. However, the Lions roster is significantly better all around. Better offense, better defense. They're better. Their quarterback, they have the worst quarterback, but Jared Goff's got fire to play for in this game. This is the team that traded him and 2 first-round picks to go get Matthew Stafford. I think if the Lions just run the ball well like they do, Jared Goff play actions, doesn't do anything dumb, and their defense can hold Kyren Williams pretty well, I think the Lions should win this game because they're the better team by far. But again, they just can't play stupid. That's just what it is. Don't be stupid. Do what you're good at. Dan Campbell can't be getting too risky. He's just got to go back to being a normal coach this game. Do what's right.
Normal coach.
Yeah, don't go, not 4th and 2, go fake punt on your own 30-yard line. That's not going to win you this game. You got to play like a normal football game. Don't go for 2 at random times. Just play normal. Do what you're good at. You should win this game. You're the better team.
I love your take, but I hate your take. I'm taking the Rams this week. Listen, the Rams, Puka Nacua and Kyren Williams, ever since Kyren's came back, they literally have been running the table. They're doing an amazing job on the ground and the pass game. This is an all-around team. Listen, is their defense a little weak? Sure. Is Aaron Donald still one of the best defensive players of all time and going out there making plays? Yeah. Listen, I don't trust the Lions. How many times have they made the playoffs in the past how many years?
You could argue that this Rams team is the worst roster in the playoffs right now, just on an all-around basis.
Them or the Packers?
I would take the Packers roster over the Rams roster. The Packers are young, but way more balanced than the Rams team.
I don't know. The Steelers have a bad roster, too.
Okay. Pittsburgh is last. No, but I don't know, though.
Pittsburgh.
Here's the thing. To me, this Rams team is very, they got Stafford's an old veteran quarterback. Kyren Williams has been good. Cooper Kupp's an old veteran receiver with Puka Nacua. This defense isn't very good, but I don't know. To me, this is just but this is a team that's very well coached with a veteran quarterback and a couple weapons on offense and a defense that not the most star-studded talent besides Aaron Donald, but they play together and they get the job done.
Exactly. I'm taking the Rams. I'm just feeling that this game's going to go a certain way. Lions are going to lead. Matthew Stafford, 2-minute drive, goes down and scores a touchdown. It just has that feeling of Detroit's going to win. Oh, no, Detroit's just going to get fucked. And I feel so bad, but
listen, if Detroit just plays smart and fine, they'll be fine because they're the better team. However, there's a big thing that Jared Goff, in these big games, he kind of doesn't play so well, and he makes some dumb mistakes, and that comes back to cost him. As much as Lions fans are oh, he's good, he's quarterback. Has he really? Think of all those big games he's had this year. Has he really shined in any of those games? They got killed by the Ravens. They lost to the Packers, and he did bad on Thanksgiving. What are the big games? He played well against the Saints. The Saints are in the Dallas. Did he play? They scored 19 points. So, as much as you want to say, did he play fantastic? They scored 19 points.
He threw 2 interceptions.
Yeah, he
played terrible.
Yeah, he doesn't play well in these big games. It's just known. They went to the Super Bowl years ago. He scored 3 points in the Super Bowl. Yeah. I'm trying to remember what happened in that playoff run that they went on. I don't really remember.
They barely beat the Saints.
You're right.
Shouldn't have even been there.
Yep, that Saints game.
So, listen, there's just a lot of stuff. It's something that the Rams, I just don't think they have it. I don't think they have it. I don't think the Lions have it to win this. There's a gut feeling.
Lions are also young, too, most around. They got a lot of young guys. This is basically, they're all there. This is a young, non-experienced playoff team also.
Oh, yeah.
Besides Jared Goff. He's been it, but this is a young roster, too. And the Lions have a very bright future. But I think they might want to start looking to find a quarterback sooner or later because I don't know if Jared Goff, you got a good roster. I don't think you're going to be able to win with Jared Goff as your quarterback. You can win a Super Bowl with him.
Yeah, imagine how the guy Matthew Stafford, that maybe would change your franchise.
Yeah.
All right, Eagles.
But also, they might not have the team that they have without
true.
Matthew Stafford getting traded.
That is true.
Got some picks and stuff.
I'm going to switch mics here. Eagles at Buccaneers this week. Who you got?
Okay, these are the 2 worst teams going into the playoffs, I think, when you look at it. The Buccaneers were good. What are you doing? No. Put that thing down, dude. The Buccaneers were looking good. The Buccaneers were looking very good. Last 2 games haven't looked so good. Definitely have not looked good these last 2 games. The Eagles haven't looked good since they played the Bills. That's about it. The Eagles have looked bad ever since.
They didn't even look good then.
Well, they scored 30-something points that game, and against a good Bills team. So I would still, that was their best game. Then they played who? They got killed by, oh no, not the Bills game. I'm sorry. Was it the Bills game? Yes, the Bills game. Yeah.
They beat the Bills.
Yeah, I was thinking Dallas got steamrolled by the Bills. I'm thinking the big game against the Bills. Then they played the San Francisco, lost pretty badly. Played Dallas, lost pretty badly. The Giants was after that one, right?
Yeah, they beat the Giants.
But again, very close in a game you probably shouldn't have won if Tyrod played the whole game.
Yep.
Lost to Arizona, and then got embarrassed again in the last week seen by the Giants. This Eagles team is awful right now. When you look at the talent, you compare them and the Buccaneers, they got way better talent. They're banged up, though. I don't know if A.J. Brown's going to play. I don't think Devontae Smith's playing.
This is
Jalen Hurts' finger snapped the other direction.
This is where the ESPN...
yeah, let me know what's going on in this Eagle. I'm not sure who's playing and who's not. This is a Monday night game, so this is the last game, so they do have time to rest.
Give me 1 second. A.J. Brown, questionable. Jalen Hurts, questionable.
Jalen Hurts is going to play. That's obvious.
Reed Blankenship, questionable. Nothing about Devontae Smith, though, so I guess he's fine.
Is he fine? Well, he missed last week, so I don't know. Baker Mayfield, Baker Mayfield's Baker Balls.
Big Balls Baker. Where are you going, Shea?
As much as everything's telling me to take the Buccaneers, I'm going to take the team that's the better team. Because here's the thing, if the Buccaneers were playing good right now going to this, I'd be sold on the Buccaneers. But they've been playing not so good. I'm not sold on either of these teams. Whoever has to play, this is setting up for not Dallas, actually, it would be the Niners. This is setting up for a Niners NFC Championship by, walking. They don't even have to do anything, and they should be in the NFC Championship game. Or even Dallas, if the Rams somehow lose. But, again, this sets up for... I'm just going to take Philly and the fact that they have a good offensive line. If they can run the ball, their defense is terrible, but it's Baker Mayfield, who, he's kind of been playing pretty well. But I'm just going to take Philly. I'm going to take Philly. Do I have faith in Philly? I don't have faith in either of these teams. But I'm just going to take Philly to maybe have some fire up their ass and play a little better. Because you haven't played good in about 6 weeks, so maybe you should start playing good now when it's the playoffs. But again, this team could be totally checked out. We'll see when it comes on Monday. I don't think there's a right or wrong pick in this game.
Taking the Bucs. Big Balls Baker going to win a second playoff game. That's just as many as Jalen Hurts in his career when he wins this one. Almost close to as many as Dak. I think Dak has 3 or 4. So it's close to Dak. Baker's going to have more playoff wins than a lot of guys. Yeah, I'm taking Baker Mayfield.
Is Baker Mayfield the quarterback for the Buccaneers going forward?
You have to be.
If he loses it, what if he gets embarrassed in this game? Then do you start questioning? But he
then
did
you
just
question
the division. If he wins this game, no doubt.
No doubt. Yeah, there's no doubt. You don't move off him. But I think you can question it if most certainly if you lose this game. But I don't think he does. I think they do a good job. They win this game, and yeah. So now we're going to go into the full NFL playoff predictions. I just gave mine. I'm going to run down mine really quick. So I took the Bills, took the Chiefs, and took the Browns. So
our AFC is the same. Our AFC is exactly the same. Our NFC is a bit different.
Cowboys, Rams, Bucks. Okay, so that sets up an interesting... we'll go to the AFC.
That's the AFC because we have the same thing. So we have the Ravens versus the Browns.
Oh my God.
I really, really, really want to take the Browns. You don't even know how badly I want to take the Browns. Because I know, listen, Lamar hasn't played that will be 3 weeks of him not playing. 3 weeks of him not playing. That's a lot to not play. If the Browns come out and take that first punch and go up 14-0 against the Ravens, I don't know if they're going to have a chance to come back in this one. Browns might be able to cruise then at that point. It's real. People might be like, oh, the Ravens are the best team. They're going to handle this. This is a divisional matchup against a Browns team with a good defense and Joe Flacco. They didn't have Joe Flacco last time they played the Ravens. And they beat them. They won this game with, actually, it was Deshaun Watson, I think they had in that game. I don't know if he played the whole game that one. I think he did. He did, and he played a pretty good game there. Besides like the turnover he had on like the first drive for a pick six, he played good that game. So yeah, I still, as much as the Ravens are the 1 seed and Lamar's the MVP, I still have questions about him in the playoffs because when has he performed in the playoffs? He hasn't. That's the simple answer. He hasn't. But I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to take the Ravens. As much as I want to take the Browns, I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to take the Ravens.
Like I said, I'm taking the Ravens. We're going to run through my bracket.
But again, don't be surprised if the Browns win this game. Don't be like, oh, that's crazy. It's not as big of an upset as it seems.
Yeah, so I'm taking the Ravens, and then I'm going to take the Chiefs.
You're really going with that Mahomes riding his what?
Listen to me. Mahomes will find another way to get... Listen, Josh Allen beats him in the regular season, but Mahomes has his number in the postseason.
It does.
I'm taking Mahomes.
It makes sense every year. However, every other year, what has happened in the playoffs? The game has been at Arrowhead.
I understand that.
The game is in Buffalo this time.
Listen, but
the Chiefs have been awful this year. Give me the Buffalo Bills to go back to the the AFC Championship game, to get to the AFC Championship game finally. Yeah.
See, here's the thing.
I want the Bills.
See, the thing. I thought the same exact thing last year. I was like, oh, the Bills are going to kick the shit out of the Bengals. Bills are at home. Bengals come up there.
It's true. But the Bengals were playing pretty well last year. This Chiefs team is playing bad. They haven't played good ever. They haven't been playing good ever this whole, for weeks. So if the Chiefs team was playing good, I'd be like, all right, it makes sense. The Chiefs haven't played well. Now, again, I said if they could play good in Miami and get a roll going, then there's a different story.
Yeah.
I might want to change my picks after the fact, but this is a pre-playoff, so I'm going to go with the fact that they get it done, but I'm taking Buffalo to win this game. I almost want to go Buffalo Browns, but I'll play safe. I'll go Buffalo Baltimore.
Chiefs, Ravens. I'm taking the Ravens all the way to Super Bowl. That's my pick. NFC, let's run down the NFC for me real quick. Rams at Niners. I'm going to take the Niners. Bucks at Cowboys. I'm going to take the Cowboys, and I'm taking the Niners to go to the Super Bowl to play.
Niners, Ravens.
Double 1 seed again.
Rematch.
And I'm taking the Niners to win it all this year.
Finally? They finally get it done?
They finally get it done, and they're going to pay Brock Purdy a bunch of money just to suck. I can't wait to see it.
All right, so in my AFC...
Hold on. Let me get back here. All right, so you had...
I had Bills, Chiefs, Browns. I had Cowboys, Lions, Eagles. I'm going to take the Ravens, and I'm going to take the Bills, and I'm going to take the Bills to beat the Ravens and go to the Super Bowl.
Little Joshy? Joshy?
Bills are hot. Bills
Joshy
are playing
going
well,
crazy?
and they're hot. And the Ravens have Lamar Jackson, who has not proven anything in the playoffs. I almost want to take the Browns to beat the Ravens. So the one thing I'm sure of, I'm taking the Bills to go to the playoffs.
All right. NFC.
If you remember earlier in the season, one person said that the Dallas Cowboys would not have to play both the Niners and the Eagles to get to the Super Bowl. They would luck out and only have to play, I said the Eagles. They wouldn't have to play the Niners, and they would luck out. I don't want to take the Eagles because they're playing bad. I'm going to take the Niners to win that game. But the Cowboys are winning and going to the NFC Championship game. And as much as I want to take the Cowboys, because that was my preseason prediction, I'm going to be safe, and I'm going to go with the San Francisco 49ers to get there.
Bills, 49ers.
These are two teams historically that one loses in the Super Bowl, one usually loses before the Super Bowl. As of recent years, the Bills for 4 years lost in the Super Bowl. The Niners of recent years have not gotten it done. The Niners, this is the best roster in football. It's the best team to me. However, I'm going to take the better quarterback. He does make a lot of mistakes. But this Bills team has been rolling. And I'm going to take the Buffalo Bills to win the Super Bowl this year.
I like it. I like a pick. Listen, if I had to go my top 3 Super Bowl teams, it'd be Niners, Ravens.
See, mine would be Niners, Bills, Cowboys. That would be mine. I put the Ravens below all those teams.
Yeah, Dak ain't making it to the Super Bowl.
I know
Dak
he's not.
Ain't making it
I know
to
he's
no
not.
Super Bowl.
But I would actually rather take the Cowboys and Dak to go to the Super Bowl than the Ravens and Lamar to go to the Super Bowl.
I'll take Lamar to go to the Super Bowl every single time.
I haven't seen Lamar play good in the playoffs ever. I've actually seen Dak play good in the playoffs. I've never seen Lamar play good in the playoffs.
Oh shit! I think the recording stopped. Hold on.
Did it?
Let me go take a look. I think it might have. Yeah. God damn it!
Did it cut out?
Okay. Yeah, so my top 3 teams would be 49ers, Ravens. Ooh, literally flip a coin, Bills or Chiefs. Which one you like? That'd be my preference.
That's right. You took the Chiefs to beat the Bills.
Yeah.
So yeah, you would actually take the Chiefs.
I think, yeah.
Listen, it's always about who's hot going into the playoffs, and the Bills are the hottest team. The Ravens might be the hottest team.
Yeah.
But the Bills are number 2.
See, here's the thing. It's hard to not go against the Ravens to get the Super Bowl because they've been hot literally all freaking season.
Yeah, they have.
They've literally been
rolling
insane.
because they have the best defense in the league, pretty much. And they can run the ball at a decent level, and Lamar has just gotten the job done.
And here's the thing, too. They've been kicking the shit out of teams. They haven't just been beating them by, 3 or 4. No, they beat the Niners by like 20 points.
They're by far
They beat the Dolphins by almost 30 points. More than 30
They're the
points.
best team by far, and there's no logical reason to go against them besides my reasoning of that I don't trust Lamar in the playoffs because of past experience. I have nothing to go off this season of why the Ravens shouldn't be in the Super Bowl and win the Super Bowl because they should be. On paper, they should. I'm just going off of what I've seen in the past from Lamar. The last time they were 14-2 and were the 1 seed, they got embarrassed by the Tennessee Titans in the second round because they didn't play in the first round. Lamar hasn't won a playoff game ever, so I don't think he has. No, wait, did they beat the Titans again? They
beat Titans, yeah.
But then what happened after that?
They lost to KC. Yeah.
I don't remember that game, KC versus the Ravens.
Hold on, now I have to look this up.
Yeah, I don't remember, but they did beat them. But they only scored like 20 points that game or something, I remember.
Past playoff games. Alrighty, hold on. Well, like I said, last year they lost to Baltimore. I lost to the Bengals, I'm sorry. They beat the Titans and lost to the Bills in the divisional round.
What was the score of that game? Do you have it up?
Yeah. What was it? It was 3-17. Ravens scored 3 points.
17-3. Why do I not remember that game?
In 2019 they lost to Tennessee.
But again, they scored 3. What was the final score? They beat Tennessee.
So listen, Lamar has scored 17, 20, 12, and 7.
He's played in 4 playoff games. Are you sure?
Yeah, when they played the Chargers when they had Joe Flacco, and he literally just got drafted in 2018.
Oh, he played that game?
I think so. Hold on, I'll go check the box score right now, but I think he played that game.
But like you just said, anyway, none of those numbers were over 20. What you just said.
Yeah, Lamar played that game.
None of those numbers were over 20. Again, you have a very good defense. You might not need to score that much, but when it comes to the playoffs, I don't know. I think teams are going to be able to put up more than 20 on you. If you could put up 30, you should win. Because I think the high, maybe 24 is what the most someone scores on you with that defense. So if you could score more than 24, you should be able to win. 27, you're good. However, Lamar has not done that ever.
Now, I'm pretty sure that Lamar Jackson game that they played the Bills, he got hurt.
Did he?
Tyler Huntley
I wouldn't be surprised.
Tyler Huntley came in the game through 13 passes. I mean, he had...
But again, Lamar up until that point didn't really do anything, and he's gotten hurt a lot.
Yeah,
so.
when he was playing on the air, he had 162 yards, 14 completions, 1 interception, 3 sacks. So...
Again, I'm telling you, don't be surprised if the Browns are rolling, because they might be one of the hottest teams coming into this playoffs. They've been rolling lately. They lost the last game of the season. They didn't play anybody. That doesn't count. They're rolling.
They does Brian on that team, too.
Don't be surprised if the Browns can upset the Ravens in that second round. I'm being serious. And if the Ravens shock me and Lamar's playing phenomenal, then guess what? Then they're winning the Super Bowl. Then there you go. If Lamar's playing hot, they're winning the Super Bowl. That's what it is. But
yeah,
I'm going against it, and I'm going to say he's not.
I'm going to say they get there and they lose to the Niners because the Niners are one of those teams that, like, if they're pissed off, they go fucking crazy for some reason. And they went crazy against the Eagles.
The thing is, if the Niners just run the ball so much, they were running like 6 yards a pop against the Ravens. I feel like a lot, but they were down also early because Purdy, every time he get close, he threw a pick. And again, some of them his fault. Some of them got tipped, and some of them were just like great. But so if Purdy doesn't do that, I think the Niners should win that game then because I think they were otherwise doing pretty well. They couldn't run the ball because they were down by a bit. But
yeah, like I said, I think our predictions are pretty good for the most part. We'll see what happens, and we'll see you guys next time.